Children, you must have visited some pond or some river. You must have seen some plants are growing inside or some plants are growing on the top of the water. Those plants are nothing but aquatic plants. Aquatic plants are those plants that grow in the water. Basically, these are of three types. The first one is the floating plants. These plants float on the water. Second one is the fixed plants. Now, the fixed plants have their root fixed to the muddy soil of the pond. The last one is the submerged or the underwater plants. These plants are completely inside the water. Now let's move on to the floating plants. The examples are duckweed, water lettuce and water hyacinth. By the name itself you can know that these plants float on the water. Now let's take the example of duckweed. Because of its small size and its light weight, it can easily float on the water. Now these plants are not fixed to the soil. In the picture of water lettuce, you can see the roots very clearly. The roots are floating inside the water, but they are not fixed to the soil. Now these floating plants have spongy bodies which have empty spaces filled with air. This adaptation helps them to float on the water because it makes them slide. In the water hyacinth, you can easily see the spongy bodies. Now let's move on to the fixed plants. Examples are water lily and lotus. These plants are rooted to the waterbed of the pond. As you can see in this picture, they have their roots in the muddy soil of the pond. When you observe the leaves, they are broad and plate-like, which helps them to float on the water. And since they are continuously inside the water or they are continuously floating on the water, so there is a possibility of decay and rotting. Now to prevent that, leaves have waxy coating. Now these waxy coating form a thin layer or a thin sheet between the leaves and the water. It prevents the water to accumulate on the leaves. Hence, these waxy coating are preventing rotting. Now this stomata is present on the upper surface of the leaves. Now these stomata helps in the exchange of gases. When you see the stems, they are hollow and light. These hollow and light stems helps them to float on the water. Now the leaves are broad, which provide a large space. Hence it becomes a nesting place for the tiny birds.